Politicians tricked by fake news. Sajith humiliated over his Easter Sunday falsehoods. Kabir's hint at President's house. Sagala's attack on Marikar. The trio who showed their true self on Hiru TV.
The leader. දේශයට මග කියන ප්‍රවෘත්ති පෙළගැස්ම.
Politicians tricked by fake news. Lately, fake news got planted and went viral one after another to send the entire political system haywire as presidential polls get nearer by the day. Following Basil's meeting with Ranil on the 23rd, the fourth since the former arrived from the US, rumour was rife that they had agreed to dissolve Parliament on the following day. That sent both ruling and opposition politicians to fits of agitation. Among others, Lanka phoned Anura Yappa from the US and asked if that was true. Even Basil inquired from Sagala and he said with a big laugh that they did not discuss such a thing at the meeting with Ranil. Just asked because Ranil is an unpredictable one, said Basil and cut the line. Another one that made rounds claimed that Ranil agreed not to contest and support Sajith in return for the premiership. A concerned Damaka called Ravi K and raised it. What nonsense, that one replied. Several ministers wanted to know the outcome of Ranil's meeting with Basil. Ranil answered them thus. It was not a meeting with Basil. It was a meeting of parties that support the government. The PM was there. Basil was there. Tiran and other party representatives were there. We discussed taking government development work to the villages. A day after the Iranian President Raisi's visit, a post went viral that he had avoided meeting Sajith. SJB's Nalin reacted to that in Parliament on the 26th. Rejecting the claim, he said the Iranian embassy had not given an appointment for the opposition leader to meet their president. Sajith was not invited to the dinner hosted by Ranil for his visiting counterpart because he never attends banquets given by him, Nalin added. After listening to that from the president's chamber in Parliament, Ashu told something else to some MPs. He claimed that according to what he knew, GL had advised Sajith against meeting Raisi, saying the US will not like that. In the end, Sajith responded to all via X. He completely rejected malicious falsehoods being spread by pro-Ranil media. Defeatist and ethically bankrupt politicians are doing so to deceive the people, he said. At this rate, every party will have to start sites, the likes of factcheck.lk, factcrescendo.com, to verify such plants on a daily basis. Sajith humiliated over his Easter Sunday falsehoods. Sajith addressed the House on Wednesday morning during the 3-day debate into the Easter Sunday attacks. Citing 4 investigation reports into the killing of 2 policemen in Vavunativu, he said the Army intelligence had misled the CID by giving false information. SLPP's Madura said not 4, but 5 reports have been issued. Submitting that 5th one, he said the report recommends the arrest of Army Mohideen. He asked Sajith not to lie to the House, while Samanpriya said he had been fed wrong information by officials and he repeated them without checking. Sajith then inquired from some opposition MPs and reprimanded the officials who gave them the information in question. Some SJB MPs said during a chat at afternoon tea time that their boss humiliated them all by uttering things he didn't know. Sajith, being a one-man show, he cannot be corrected, some critics say. In the meantime, some who had deserted Sajith are now sending feelers in an attempt to return to him. One who wanted to be a presidential candidate met him just days ago. It was a young Muslim leader who proposed to balance things with Sinhala Buddhists and monks by fielding him instead of Fonseca. He even suggested to Sajith that one should be given the Maharagama electorate. But the General Secretary type who is eyeing the premiership doesn't seem to be impressed by that. Kabir's hint at President's house, Sagala's attack on Marikar. Asoka Jayatunga's Janapathi column from Washington, D.C. is up next. This time, Ranil's news planter writes it under the pen name Washington Wolf. The headlines are Cunning Fox's Foxy Magic, Sagala's attack on Marikar, JVP games to halt Uma Oya, second only to Mahaweli, Mangala Samarawera marks birthday. Court cases against those who made country bankrupt, ruined it twice and delayed Uma Oya by 9 years. Why did Sajith avoid Iranian president? Kabir's hint at president's house. American Mahinder's education jump, Iranian titles for Dasuni and Chulakana. The column goes on like this. The cunning fox has shown his mettle after becoming the chance president of a bankrupt country. State coffers with $20 million have been filled with $5 billion. The rupee appreciated from Rs 390 to Rs 290 per dollar. Commodity shortages ended and salaries raised by Rs 10,000. They are not foxy magic, but feats achieved on his own. With the belief that the foreign policy is on the correct path, he invited the Iranian president who challenges the US and Israel. Non-alignment is his shield. He asked Information Director Dinith to find him details about the Pakistan tour of the Iranian president. The PM received the Iranian president. Ranil was in Oya to welcome him and to open the project second only to the Mahaweli. It generates 120 megawatts of power, irrigates 15,000 acres, and provides drinking water for 2 districts. Iran promised $450 million, but managed only $50 million due to sanctions. The government spent the rest. A project chief said the JVP did everything to provoke the people to sabotage it over minor issues. It is a grave mistake for the JVP to find fault with everything, he said. A minister said that just like those who made the country bankrupt were found guilty by courts, the JVP will be made to pay in court for destroying $150 billion in 1971 and 88, and also delaying Oya by 9 years. Ranil flew to Colombo, but the Iranian president went to Matala by road. People waved flags and cried out his name as he went. It is Iranian tradition to baptize its projects with women's names. The 2 main turbines were accordingly named Dasuni and Chulakana, after the interpreter and the refreshment supplier. The former is a teacher at Lyceum College. Nothing is known about the other. At the presidential secretariat, the 2 leaders conversed for about an hour about the Middle East, wars, economy, climate change, etc. As the visiting dignity went to the Kolupatiya Mosque for prayers, Ranil proceeded with Dinesh Wirakadi for an opening at the port city. President Raisi was accompanied in the visit by his wife and daughter. Ranil looked into blocked roads too. After bilateral talks, 5 agreements were signed. Ranil wished for an end to war, victory for Palestine and safety for Gaza children. At the dinner hosted by him, the opposition leader and Muslim politicians were invited. The speaker and Mahinda too were there. Pavitra inquired from Ranil if he was tired after a busy day. He said with a laugh that reviving the country within a year and getting down Raisi would not have been possible had he been tired. The Iranian president liked the string hoppers and biryani in the dinner table. The chef was summoned for a brief about the recipe. During the dinner, SJB frontman Kabir inquired from President's media director Shanuka as to who should make the first move at crossover. Shanuka said it was up to him to decide and then related about it to Ranil, who came up to them. Kabir said returning home would be valued most. The next day, staff inquired from Ranil about what had happened. A senior official said no one cared when we were bankrupt. "Thanks you, sir. The entire world now recognizes us as an up-and-coming country," he said. Manusha noted that the Iranian president toured half the country. Everybody thought he would cancel the trip. "We grabbed world attention due to his visit," said the minister. Referring to US warnings to Pakistan over its ties with Iran, Ranil said that we had no such issue due to the non-aligned policy. Information Director Dinith said the judiciary is independent today. There is an injunction against the Justice Minister and Minister Kehalia is inside as a suspect, he said. Mangala's birthday was marked even though he is no more. Sagala was there. When he told Marikar that despite his denials, the president will definitely contest, many present clapped at that. As the column ended, there is a feeling that a sizable portion of the SJB is going to return home to the UNP. The trio who showed their true self on Hiru TV? Balaya talk show on Hiru TV on the 25th night was a very heated one. Accusations were traded between the Kutiarachchi Weera Singh government duo and JVP's Nalin Hiwaje. They even got involved in heated exchanges with the moderator. Hiwaj left towards the end after having his say. It all began after he talked things about Weera Singh's father. Social media took the incident up. Critics say the government duo got together and attacked the rival for all they're worth. One thing was proven beyond any doubt, that is, our politicians are without an iota of discipline, patience, or empathy. We cannot correct them. What we can do is to measure their worth for later use during election time. That will be very valuable because 2024 is going to be a year of elections. That's it for today.